Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to lucky number 13 of the Free State Sports Podcast. We're available on Spotify, YouTube, and Instagram. Hope everyone had a good Halloween out there. We got lots to cover in the NFL world as we approach the midway point of the season. Got some big recent news to discover. We also have our inaugural Free State Sports midseason top 10 power rankings. We're also going to do a funny little bottom five. That'll be fun to get into. We got some MLB World Series talk. And we also have a special guest on this episode. Saiquan's brother Devon is here. Andrew is also here.
Yeet.
And Saiquan is here.
No yeet.
No.
My deadbeat brother who hasn't seen me. I'm just kidding. I still love you, bro.
This is going to be a very fun episode. I'm excited for this.
I'm not sober enough for this.
I am excited.
What did I
That's
sign
making
up
my
for?
debut here.
Yeah, this will be something. We're excited. We're excited to get into it. Those of you that are on YouTube, be sure to keep the conversation going in the comments. We love to hear your thoughts and feedback. Tell us what you agree with, what you don't agree with, what teams you have on your list at the midway point of the season. Let us know. But,
If you don't subscribe.
tell them.
If you don't subscribe, I'm going to take your little piggies while you sleep.
Okay, yeah.
Heard it here first.
What you
We
said?
don't make the rules. We just
I'm really
enforce it.
excited. Just wanted to say to have Devon here on the podcast. He plays defensive tackle.
Yeah, and used
In
to be an
real life.
offensive tackle.
So we have a semi-pro here.
Yeah, the most athletic one out of anybody.
Yeah. He's a beast, and he is 14 years old and already taller than me. So
Correct. Twice my size.
hopefully one day we'll see him playing for the Ravens.
Yep.
This is officially tryout tape.
Did anybody catch any of the World Series at all, by any chance?
I
Not
had to.
really.
I had to catch the World Series. It's a yearly tradition, pretty much. Every time the Yankees are in it, that an Orioles fan, I have to hate watch them.
That's right. You have to.
I have to. I watched the first, the third, and the final game of the World Series.
Yeah, the Dodgers defeated the New York Yankees to win the World Series 4-1. This is the second World Series win in 5 years for them. I only caught a few glimpses of it, but one particular player that stood out was Freddie Freeman. He was named the World Series MVP, and it's no surprise when you consider his performance. He broke records by homering in the first 4 games back to back.
Can you imagine breaking a record in the World Series? You know what I mean?
I can't even imagine hitting a home run in 4 straight games in the
Yeah.
World Series. Like,
Yeah.
that's the definition of
That
clutch.
that is cold.
Yeah. But he broke that record, and he also tied a Fall Classic mark with 12 RBIs. That ties a record for the World Series. Yeah. Did you guys see the fan that got banned for interfering with the
Yep.
the
Yeah,
out?
Oh,
yeah,
no.
dude, that was
Yep.
everywhere.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, I haven't
That
seen
was
that
everywhere.
one.
You
It was
haven't?
wild.
I haven't seen
No,
that
the
one.
fan. It was a collection of 2 fans, by
Yeah.
the way. It
Yeah.
wasn't
Yep.
just one fan. But it was a Yankees player, right? That was going over
Mookie
to catch
Betts.
a foul ball.
It was Mookie Betts from the
Yeah,
from
it was
the
Mookie
Dodgers?
Betts.
I
Was it
think
the
that-
Dodgers?
Yeah.
I believe so.
Okay.
Because it was a Yankees fan.
Yeah.
that-
Yeah, and he went up
He
to
went.
make
He
a
went for a
catch
foul ball. Yep.
in the stands, and one fan grabbed his arm to keep him up in the air, and the other fan used that single finger to rip it out of the glove, so it wasn't a catch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The umpire called it an out, though.
Yeah.
And they ended up banning the fan, although I think they only banned him for the next game, which is kind of odd.
Yeah,
He
they
was
only
still
banned
talking
him for
shit
Game
after that
5.
happened, too.
Unfortunately.
Classic Yankees fans, I guess. That was wild. But speaking of Mookie Betts, that same guy, fun fact about him, he's now the only active position player in the Major League Baseball to win 3 World Series titles.
But you're gonna end it off there. He's just the only active position player.
That's what I thought he was going to say as well.
Shout out to the Dodgers for the win, and of course, as Orioles fans, it feels twice as nice to see the Yankees lose. So
Doesn't feel good
Yep.
that we still can't make it past the
Yeah.
first game of
yeah, we got swept. Still recovering from that.
2
It's
years
still
in a
sore.
row.
Yeah, not fun for us Orioles fans, but
Who did we get swept by?
I think it. Who did we get swept by? I can't even remember.
Doesn't
I don't
matter.
remember.
It
Doesn't-
does. Last year we got swept by the world champion.
Yeah, I don't think that was the case this year. I've apparently blocked it
not.
on my memories.
I would.
It was the Royals.
The Royals.
Yep,
yeah.
the Kansas City Royals.
Just saw that myself.
I don't think we scored
That's
a run
awkward.
in those games. It was just
So we lost to
I-
2 Kansas City teams in the same year, huh?
Yeah.
Awkward.
we did so good start off the season, and it just
Yep.
slowly but surely our performance declined. So I wasn't excited for our playoff
Yeah, we weren't really the same team after the All-Star break, honestly.
before the.
I mean, that's
All-Star
usually what
break.
happens when we're in the post, ain't it?
That's
Pretty much.
I mean, well before the post, we started declining. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was insane.
I didn't expect us to get swept like that. Not like they've scored a lot of runs, we didn't score any. But yeah, nonetheless, this baseball season has wrapped. So it's on to the next, I guess. But let's jump over to some NFL stuff. We're going to start off with some trades in the NFL world.
Woo! Let's get it.
We have some huge news from Kansas City. They traded for same. They traded
Same.
for they traded for wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins. The deal was for a 2025 fifth-round pick that can become a fourth-rounder if the Chiefs reach the Super Bowl and Hopkins plays 60% of the snaps as Chief. And the Titans will pay $2.5 million of his remaining $8 million salary. That's from NFL Network. So Saiquan, who do you think got the better end of the deal, the Titans or the Chiefs?
Honestly, I'm gonna say the Chiefs. So first and foremost, I'm gonna give props to the Chiefs organization because it seemed like they've been riddled with that injury bug this year, and for them to pick up a prospect in DeAndre Hopkins who averages nearly 1,000 yards per season. I'm pretty sure by my notes from his 13 years since the NFL, he's had 7 years with 1,000 yards and 3 for 700 yards. They fleeced the Titans, and Titans got a win from today. I forgot by who. I think the Patriots. Yeah, the Patriots.
They played the Patriots.
So I think the Chiefs are going to use him effectively. So I think the Chiefs got the best deal out of it.
What do you think about it, Andrew?
If you want to talk about winners, it's got to be the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
They're already their biggest problem is their offense. They're already undefeated, already a top 10 offense, and a top 11 passing offense. They're just going to add a wide receiver for Patrick Mahomes. Got to be unfair. We got to ban these types of trades. All jokes aside, the Chiefs has to be proud of this trade. They got a steal, as Saiquan said, conditional 4th or 5th round pick, and it's very reliant on what Chiefs making a Super Bowl.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Which isn't that unrealistic, if we're being
No.
honest.
No, but even if they don't, what have they got D-Hop.
Yeah. Yeah, I would have to agree with all that. I think the Chiefs definitely won here, especially with the Titans paying some of his salary. That's huge as well.
Yeah.
They got a really good one in DeAndre Hopkins. Maybe a little older, but I still think he's going to help. Especially Patrick Mahomes has been struggling over there. So I think this could be good for the Chiefs. I'm excited to see what happens. But speaking of trades, the Baltimore Ravens also made a move for a wide receiver, former Pro Bowler Deontay Johnson. They traded a 5th-round pick for him and a 6th-round pick. Is that right?
No.
No.
They traded a 5th-round pick and got in
That
return
could.
Deontay Johnson and a 6th round
That's what
pick.
it was, yeah. I don't know why I had it written that way in my
It
notes.
was
So
an
happy.
absolute steal by the Ravens
So
organization.
So happy. That's a win.
Even if Deontay Johnson doesn't turn out, I think the Ravens are projected to receive a compository pick of a 4th round.
Hmm.
So they're already guaranteed a higher pick if Deontay Johnson leaves Baltimore this year.
Yeah.
But not to mention that Deontay Johnson is a former Pro Bowl wide receiver.
Oh, yeah.
The Panthers, and this is a quote from Mike Lombardi, the Panthers basically just gave up Deontay Johnson to them.
Yeah.
This was a ridiculous trade. I have no idea what the Panthers.
Yeah, the Panthers also are paying down some of his salary, so the Ravens are only going to owe around $625,000 this year for him. 30
Sheesh.
catches, 357 yards, 3 touchdowns this season at the time of the trade. Did post a 1,000-yard season with Pittsburgh back in 2021. That was his Pro Bowl season.
Yep.
Saquon, what do you think of this move?
To keep it short and sweet, I think it's a good pick. We've been talking about for a very long time how the Ravens have been struggling to have a Pro Bowler wide receiver, and recently we've been having one in Zay Flowers, hopefully in the foreseeable future. I think it's a good pickup. Me and other fans were kind of wondering why we didn't necessarily get a defensive player on the trade block, but I'm glad that the organization did something rather than nothing. So I like
As
it.
of the time of recording, there's still time. Ravens are in talk for a safety.
Intent.
Of course, that's going to all conclude by the time this podcast.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the Ravens we're in desperate need of a big body type receiver, X receiver.
Hmm.
And that's what Deontay Johnson brings to the. He's the guy who's going to be making contested catches. That's something that really Zay Flowers struggles to do. Rashad Bateman struggles to make open catch.
Yeah.
So we desperately needed another wide receiver. It feels like Lamar's been doing so good we didn't.
Yeah.
But removing Lamar's tight end help and Zay Flowers, I'm not confident moving forward with Rashad Bateman and Nelson Aguilar.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think this is a good move for the Ravens. I don't think they're really losing too much, and I think the potential positives far outweigh the negatives of the trade. So I'm excited to see what he'll bring to the table. We do have some potentially catastrophic news from Houston. C.J. Stroud's biggest weapon in Stephon Diggs has torn his ACL and he's out for the season. Andrew, how big of a hit is that for the Texans?
Well, it's a problem, some would say.
Some would say that.
Some would say Houston, we have a problem. But for me, I don't think it's as big as a problem as it's being made out to be, especially with Nico Collins. I believe coming back from it.
He'll be coming back.
Yeah. CJ Stroud's a really standout quarterback. He's not having the best year this year as he was last year. Some people picked him for MVP.
I wonder who would do something like that.
It's insane.
Right. Who would have thought? Not me.
He needs more appreciation.
Yeah. But he wasn't even having the best statistical season for the Texans. That was Nico Collins, who had posted more yards than him. He has more catches, don't get me wrong. Stephon Diggs is good. I just don't think it's going to be as big as a hit to the roster as everyone making it out to be. You know what I mean?
That's fair. I think they did win their most recent game without him, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
No, they lost.
They
No,
lost?
they actually did win. No, they did win today. You're wrong.
Did
I'm
they?
right.
Yeah.
You're right.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Still able to find a way.
23-20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still able to find ways to win without him. Obviously, he's a big key player, but
That wasn't today.
Who did they play today? Did they play anybody today?
They played today. They won by a field goal. I was thinking of the Jets game that they lost.
No.
No,
The Jets game was Thursday night. They lost that game.
Yeah. So, did they not? What? Okay.
No, they lost the Jets Thursday. That was from October 7th. I hate Thursday
I was
night
right.
games. I'm just going to say.
I think they're on a bye week this week because I don't see them.
No, they played on Thursday.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Professionals here. Professional sports analysts.
Lock in.
Right. But yeah, let's head over to Indianapolis. This is an interesting topic to talk about. Colts situation and their recent decision to bench quarterback Anthony Richardson. We actually have that game on in the background right now.
Great decision. Great decision.
You think so?
I think so.
I agree. And I wanted to levy a question about this to Devon, real quick. That's okay with you.
Absolutely.
As a defensive player, right, it matters what happens on offense to some extent. Yeah,
Yes.
okay. How would you feel if during a game, your quarterback, who is uninjured, walks off the field down on the bench?
Oh no, that's selfish. That's just selfish. It's like you're walking out of the field. I mean, I have a couple of experiences. That's selfish.
Yeah, but from the quarterback position,
You're the leader of the team.
Yeah.
You're the one who controls the team. You're literally the captain of the. But that's just selfish. I'm surprised. I'm not going to be surprised if he suspended from a free prize.
Couldn't have said it better, honestly. Their head coach
Fair enough.
said the decision was made because he feels Joe Flacco gives the team the best chance to win now. This was a decision that was made as the team was 4-4. Saiquan, what do you think about this move by the Colts?
So if we're keeping the stack, if we're keeping the bean, we all know why he was benched. We know why. I don't need to further down that. We all are pretty disappointed on the fact that that happened. This is his second season with the team. He had previous history at college, didn't play that much. I believe he only played like 10 games in total. But if the coach is taking that perspective, I do believe that Joe Flacco is the best option to starter. He is a 2024, comeback player of the year. He did lead the Cleveland Browns to the postseason, and so far this season, he is 2-1 as a starter for the Indianapolis Colts. So I think it's the best option, and quite frankly, Flacco is a good quarterback to observe while you're on the bench. I think this will give Anthony Richardson the time to just, think about his decision making and just work back in the lab.
I would agree. I would agree 100%.
I agree, and I think most importantly here, you have to show Anthony Richardson. Like, yes, it's important for you to grow as a quarterback, but you're not the only person on this team. You don't make decisions for this team, and walking off the field is walking off for your team. It's really hard to keep and earn trust. Look at Mac Jones' situation in New England. He wasn't a good person. He wasn't a good quarterback, and they got rid of him the first chance they got. Anthony Richardson was at least viewed as a good person up to this. But I have seen a lot of people talking about how this is going to ruin him. They bench him. But think about the message they sent to the rest of the locker room if they don't bench.
Yeah. My thing is with people talking about like his confidence getting destroyed by this. If you're an NFL caliber quarterback and you're letting your confidence get destroyed by being benched and somebody else coming in and knowing there's obviously a reason for that, you should be able to be in the headspace to let that motivate you to become a better player. I think if that completely ruins your confidence and ruins you like a player for the rest of your career, like all these people are saying it will, you don't deserve to be an NFL quarterback to begin with. This is where Anthony Richardson is either gonna sink or float. So we're sink or swim. So we're gonna see what happens. Sink or float. We're gonna see what happens. But
he's gonna sink or tread water. That might be a good analogy, by the way. That might check out in a year or two.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know.
He's either gonna be bad or be mediocre and be a journeyman for the rest of his
life. Bingo.
It's make or break. Honestly, it really is. So it's interesting to see Flacco play. Every time I see him, I can't help but think back to our Super Bowl run with him.
Where does the time go?
I feel like Joe Flacco deserved to be on. I mean, because seeing him on the Jets, the Browns, and like coming to sub, I feel like he's going to retire. It's always a good He really deserved to be the starter of Colts.
Had a real rough outing out in Denver
and the Jets.
Like Denver specifically, because the Jets, I think he was brought in as a backup to Zach Wilson, right?
Yeah.
We traded him to Denver, and he didn't look like a competent quarterback.
Yeah.
It looked like we walked away clean from that. Okay, we made the right decision. When he was with the Browns, he looked competent.
Yeah. Like a leader.
Yeah.
Basically.
You talking about last year?
Yeah. He somehow reverted back to his 2012 form.
It was crazy because he came off the couch and took the team to the playoffs. It was wild.
Yeah, I think he finished 13 for 8 for I forgot how many yards, like 2,000?
I don't remember how many games he played. It was something like that.
He played for like more than half of the season, if not half of the season, because Deshaun went down with that ACL injury. I think he went with a certain injury.
Yeah,
but well deserved.
Yeah, I root for him every time I see him. You can't help but wish him the best.
Yeah,
cool to see him get an opportunity over there.
13 of 8.
Yep.
I was close. Dang.
Close. You said 13 for 8, so I'll give you props there.
Yeah.
Before we get into our power rankings, something I'm very excited for. Are there
Oh
any
boy.
games this week that we caught that you guys wanted to talk about? I didn't have a chance to catch very many.
I absolutely want to start with the Ravens.
Let's do it.
All right. Do you have any notes on it, or 'cause
Absolutely
I can take
not.
it away here? Okay,
Yeah,
awesome.
go for it. Take it away.
All right. So first and foremost, Ravens versus Broncos. This was a great offensive game for the Ravens, but the defense still needs to be better.
Yes.
I liked the bend
Yes.
and not break mentality that came out of that defensive locker room.
Mm.
There was a lot of fourth and shorts that were non-converted. That's something I haven't seen.
Ooh.
That was a wild
Yeah.
tackle.
I'm sorry.
Wild
I'm
tackle.
sorry.
I am so sorry. That was a good tackle.
Yeah. Zay Flowers had a 2-touchdown performance in this game. That's his first 2-touchdown performance of the season, I believe. I think this is his fourth game he's went over 100 yards this season. Now, there's a couple things I have to highlight with Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson has been going off lately.
Yep.
And it now reflects as Lamar Jackson has now surpassed Josh Allen for the quickest to 20 touchdowns in a season. He got it in
Sheesh.
9 weeks.
That's pretty impressive.
Not bad for a running back.
Not bad for a running back.
And with that being said, he also has tied Ben Roethlisberger with his fourth perfect passer rating of his career, which with 4. He went 16 of 19, 4% complete. 280 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interception, only 4 rushing yards, and he was sacked once. He had a fantastic. What were you guys' thoughts on the game?
I don't know about you,
Incredible.
but I'm curious to know what Monse Blanco is going to say this year. I've been waiting on it. I don't know about you, but I'm still waiting on the initial apology. You know, I've
Where is
noticed
she even at?
that
Like, did she
Fox,
fall off the face of the earth?
she's still on Fox Sports Radio.
For me. You know what I mean? Like, you want your commentators to be more
She's not
commentating.
She's not
Commentary.
analyst. She's not analyst enough for me.
Yeah, like I couldn't help but notice that, you know, they delete the initial posts, you know, some of her comments are muted, but going, we're going to throw that to the side. We ain't gonna talk about that. I think this year could be Lamar's first year that we'll have a wide receiver that surpasses 1,000 yards in Zay Flowers, and I'm absolutely pumped for it because you know how our team is. Our team will do phenomenal when it comes to decently good teams, but we will falter when it comes to bad teams and like the Raiders and what happened last week. The Chiefs, I'm gonna give them somewhat a pass just due to the fact that they're a 3-time Super Bowl winning champions. But once we're on a roll,
by the way,
we're so consistent. I'm so proud of Zay because like after what happened last year with the playoffs, just elevated.
And 54 yards on the.
He'll get 1,000.
4 yards away from what he had in 2020.
That's pretty good.
And he's done
he'll
it
get
in
1,000
nearly
for sure.
half the receptions.
Yeah.
He'll get for sure. That's my only takeaway is just Zay Flowers. I think he should honestly get his flowers. No pun intended. I think he'll get 1,000.
He's got to learn how to not cut big cuts. He makes too many cuts that result in him.
Yeah, he needs to finish his runs.
And like you'll see it, like especially if you like I watch the Ravens Wired.
Yeah.
Every week.
Yep.
There's a lot of times where they're just like, dude, if you just cut it right, that's a touchdown.
Yeah.
If you didn't cut, that's a touchdown.
Bateman is prone to do the same thing. I don't know if y'all saw that either. He'll like do a cutback trying to get more yards. He ends up losing like 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could see that for sure. He definitely tries to do too much at some point.
Yeah.
Both of them do. But
yeah.
The difference is one of them catch the football. Anyways,
Who's that?
Andrew, do you have any
Soldiers.
other games?
Yes, I do have other games. First, let's highlight Tua's first game back for the Dolphins, as the Dolphins went into Buffalo and put up a fight. They ended up losing that game 30-27, but it was down to the wire. And I don't think I have enough to say that like Tua is the lifeblood of the Dolphins. Without him, and we make the jokes all the time. I don't know if you guys used to make these jokes, but like Tua has two of the best offensive weapons, probably the best wide receiver core in the NBA.
Yeah.
Yet, when Tyler Huntley stepped in, he didn't do good.
Right.
But Tua does good. I have to respect Tua for that. This was a good game. Really went down to the wire. Tua's showing. He went 25 of 28 for 231 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Pretty good first game back.
That is fantastic, especially for the first.
No, this is the second game back.
Is it his second game back?
I think it is actually.
Yeah.
I remember
Yeah.
seeing a clip last week of fans
Him sliding.
at him to slide. Yeah.
That is my bad. Josh Allen had
Angry
a
boss.
shaky showing, but he pulled out the win. But when your quarterback is throwing it 40 times a game, something's got to give.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
came up one short of 40, but 25 of 39, 35 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. They have hardly any run game to speak of. Dolphins have Achan. They have Mostert. I mean, they combined for over 109 yards.
Yeah.
In a touchdown.
Feels like the Bills are putting a little too much workload on Josh Allen.
Yeah. But speaking of Bills, let's check about everyone's favorite trade target as of last week who didn't catch this game.
I think he might have been out.
Was Amari Cooper out?
Amari
I think I
Cooper
saw
was
something
out.
about it being
Oh.
He's
out.
out. Yeah, he's out.
I've had a
He did
busy week.
decent last year though. No, you're good, boss. Yeah, he was out.
He was inactive.
Why?
They didn't say why, but
I didn't
they
see
just say
why
he was
either.
inactive. Yeah.
Besides the Dolphins game, those Dolphins, which I think was probably game of the week. Another game I wanted to personally highlight was not in terms of the game being good.
Okay, I was say don't steal my answer.
What was your answer? I'll let you go. I'm kind of
No. Go first.
Okay.
Go first.
I was gonna say New England, Tennessee.
Okay, you didn't steal my answer.
Okay. New England and Tennessee, no one expects anyone to talk about this. They're two bottom feeder teams for the first overall pick.
Pretty much.
Drake May had a very standout play at the very end of the game of regulation. They went into overtime, where he stood in the pocket, maneuvered for a good 10 seconds, and threw up a prayer. Honestly, it was a prayer. It wasn't anything spectacular, but it was called for a touchdown.
Yeah.
It sent the game to overtime. How many rookie quarterbacks go out there and do something like that? How many rookie quarterbacks allow for 10 seconds to pass?
Yeah.
How many rookie quarterbacks trust in their offense that much?
Right.
Drake May did, and that did very well for him as they went to overtime. Only to lose to the Tennessee Titans.
Yep.
Saiquan, you had a game you wanted to talk.
I would like to give well, before I say this, what gaming franchise dropped last Thursday, gentlemen?
Call of Duty.
Call of Duty.
I see where this is going.
So I would like to give a cool honorary mention to my man, Kyler Murray. Now, the media was like, oh, when Call of Duty comes out, Kyler Murray's going to be a no-show. Kyler Murray's going to be with his friends. He's going to be locked in. I don't know if you guys saw the game today, but the Cardinals definitely stomped the Chicago Bears 29-9.
They did, but
Lord.
did you see the game?
Yeah. Yes, I did.
Yeah,
It was embarrassing.
especially for the
Keenan-
Cardinals too.
Yeah. Keenan Allen had a couple of drops. It was a bit of a mess.
Yeah,
I'm not going to lie.
I just wanted to say, because like, I want to have a little fun with this Call of Duty narrative about Kyler Murray, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Because he didn't play well. He went 13 of 20 for no touchdowns, no interceptions. That's okay. He managed the game. 2 rushes,
Right.
6 yards. But just listen to this. Here's the first drives of the game, right? Punt by the Cardinals, punt by the Bears. Punt. A touchdown, finally, by the Cardinals. Field goal, fumble by the Cardinals. Field goal by the Bears. Touchdown Cardinals. Field goal Bears. Touchdown. That was half. Then they came out, punt, field goal, turnover on downs, field goal, punt,
So the
punt,
whole game is
safety.
basically field goals.
Yeah.
It's a field goal party.
It was a terrible game. I switched away from it after a little bit and just never went back.
That sounds like me on all Madden.
Yeah.
I would have
Trick play.
Oh my goodness, watch this fun game. All it is about field goals. That field goal was the best field goal I have ever saw in my life. I love that game. All it was about field goals, bro. Everybody's going to be talking about that game.
The most important thing is my pick for Rookie of the Year was embarrassed.
Nice.
Marvin Harrison?
No, I did not pick Marvin Harrison. I wanted to pick Marvin Harrison, but
what was your Rookie of the Year?
Mine was Caleb Williams.
Ryan Tannehill?
Yeah. Yeah, Ryan.
Go back to the first episode.
Yep, go watch it.
Go watch it. Anybody have any other games to highlight before we move on to our mid-season power rankings?
I did have one more game.
One more. Go for it.
Yeah, sorry, if I'm not having... I should.
Haven't missed much.
There was a battle for the NFC North today as Detroit went into Lambeau Field to face the Packers. And does anyone want to take a swing at
Ooh.
I think the Lions won, right? I watched part of it.
It was Detroit.
Yeah, it was the Lions.
I watched it, and it was, God. Yeah. Go ahead, Andrew.
Only watch part of that game. Not really.
Because something happened before the game started, and buddy.
Yep. And that was the game as soon as that happened.
Yeah.
Who was it? Wasn't that
Amon-Ra.
Yeah, Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Yeah, Amon-Ra. I can never say that boy's name right.
Or Amari St. Brown, as some people would say it. Yeah. I'm gonna just call him Almond. I talked to Jared Goff up later. He really managed this game. This game was taken over by Montgomery and Gibbs, combined for 150 yards rushing.
Sonic and Knuckles.
Yeah. Final score of this game was 24-14. Jordan Love looked human. Jordan Love's more of a gunslinger. He throws a lot of picks, and we all expect it. But he also throws a lot of touchdowns. He has a lot of 4 touchdown, 2 interception, 4 touchdown, 3 interception games.
Yep.
Wasn't expecting a 0 touchdown, 1 interception game.
Right.
This game was just not what I expected. Obviously, I picked Green Bay to represent the Super Bowl, and I said Detroit's going to take a step back. Guess who was wrong?
Yeah, happens.
Detroit's over there getting their money's worth out of Jared Goff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I apologize. I'm a golfer now. I love golf.
Yeah, you never disrespect Ryan Gosling like that.
I'm a golfer and a boxer.
I love golf. I would love golf even more if he really took that Matthew Stafford position and started getting his wife pregnant. But I respect his work ethic, even though his pullout game is strong. Unlike Matthew Stafford.
Bingo.
But Matthew Stafford does have a Super Bowl, so, you know.
Yeah, they did Bay Bell.
Yeah.
I mean, Jared Goff would have a Super Bowl if he had a weaker, pullout game. Just saying.
Yeah.
One less thing to worry about. No, that is all the games I really wanted to highlight. Besides this good game right now between the Colts and Saiquan.
Yeah, the Colts just got a scoop and score for a touchdown and an extra point.
Did they? Did I miss that?
Yep.
Good game, then.
Good game.
Yep.
All right, on to the most exciting part of the podcast. We're going to do our Free State Sports Top 10 mid-season power rankings. We're each going to go through our top 10 at the midway point of the season. Talk a little bit about why we have them in that spot. I guess we'll each just do...
I say we go number by number.
So you want to do, week number, and then we each do the next number?
Who do we got at number 1, and then we do it, and then at number 2.
All right. Do you want to start at 10 and work our way down to number 1?
Sure.
All right. I'll go my number 10. My number 10 was the Texans. I think despite some struggles, C.J. Stroud and his team will show an ability to be a contender at 6-3. Top 10 offense, top 2 in special teams, and also top 2 in defense. I think if they can put it together in the second half of the season, a run for the playoffs.
That's interesting. My number 10 was the Eagles.
Interesting.
Where I have them.
They're competing very close to the Commanders. I feel like, honestly, Eagles and Commanders are this close. That's how closely contested this top 10 list is. They're this close, inches away from each other in terms of being good. Can Jalen Hurts finally break out to be that quarterback the Eagles need him to be? Will that defense step up? They've been competitive in almost every game they've been in, even in their losses. You got to put the respect on the Eagles.
Yep. Sure.
I got Philly.
Okay.
Same thing.
Okay.
Thing.
Yeah.
I got the.
I just changed it like 5 times. I'm not gonna lie to you. Jesus Christ! All right, skip that. Yeah.
So Saiquan, why'd you pick the Eagles? Same reason.
Yeah, similar reason. I'm just basing it off of what I've seen, not necessarily seeing that stats. And that's for the rest of the list as well.
Okay, gotcha. My number 9 is the Packers.
Ooh.
Despite a number of games without Jordan Love, they still found ways to win. Not only to win, but remain a top 5 offense. And I think that's pretty impressive. They're also top 5 in turnovers. And much like we thought they would be, they remain a legitimate contender as well. So the Packers are my number 9 spot.
Pretty cool. My number 9 spot is Texans.
Hey.
Hey.
Our list seems like it's just shifted by one.
Yeah.
Because
my next is the Texans as well.
Yeah. Anyway, Stephon Diggs' injury could hurt them in the long run, but I really don't see it. Phil Collins has been playing great, healthy. So overall, I'm just gonna have to keep the Texans at 9. I really want to move them up. My MVP right there.
Nice.
All right, may I go?
Fair enough.
Sure.
All right, my number 9 is the Colts.
The Colts.
Yeah, the Colts. Don't gotta be.
4-14.
Yeah, just saying. Don't got a reason.
He's 14. Cut him a break.
Wouldn't question it. Fair enough.
I mean, there are worse takes out there, let's be honest.
Yeah. I mean, look at me.
Saquon, who's your number 9?
My number 9 was the Houston Texans.
Nice.
Yeah, for the pretty much same reason, Stephon Diggs injury. But I think they can push through.
Yeah.
Well, number 8 for me is the Philadelphia Eagles. At 6-2, they're currently top 10 in both offense and defense. They seem to be finding their stride a bit, having won 4 in a row. Like kind of how Andrew was talking about, Jalen Hurts hasn't really had a breakout game here. But I will say I feel like all eyes are on Saiquan Barkley. He's got over 100 yards in 3 straight games. I think he remains the lifeblood of the offense at this point in time. I think they're playing very well at the mid. I think they momentum going. They'll be in for the postseason.
Michelle spoke my opinion. I'm not even gonna lie. Spoke my mind.
At my number 8, I had the Pittsburgh Steelers. So keeping it in PA, and this was hard for me. I'm not a big Steelers, but you got to put that respect on their 6 record. Hitting and sitting on top of the 8. But I feel like having Justin Fields or Russell Wilson, do you expect him to come December, January timeframe?
Probably not. It's going to be tough without a legitimate quarterback situation.
Yeah.
Their defense for me. So.
Oh, their defense is great. But again, it comes down to offense. You know?
Yeah.
I feel like Andrew has my notes. That's weird. Steelers as well.
Oh,
yeah, that's
Lord.
awkward.
No way.
Yeah. I'm also doing like a bunch of switches too. I'm like, yeah, he might be right. So let me just switch that one to that one. And quite literally the difference is like by one whole number. I'm like, you guys are actually kind of spitting. So let me just, it's Pittsburgh Steelers. Yeah. The, yeah, just similar to what you guys just said. It's kind of crazy to think that they've gone as far as they did with only 2 to 3 losses, and their quarterback situation hasn't been written in sand. But Russ has been doing great these past 2 weeks as the starter. So I don't know. I'm optimistic to see what they do. I don't know if did we face them this year?
Face them twice.
Question twice this year. I'm looking forward to that. Honestly, I'm curious to see what Russ will do against Lamar when it comes to offense to offense.
Sure.
Sure. All right. Number 7. My number 7 spot is Falcons. Talked a little bit about this rebuild and its potential earlier on. It looks to be finally coming together despite some inconsistencies. Kirk Cousins and his offense are top 10 in the NFL, and he's thrown 7 touchdowns and nearly 500 yards in the last 2 games. Saw him have that game earlier in the season when he threw 500 yards in one game. And I think we've seen how good they are when they're firing on all cylinders like that. So if they can stay consistent, I think they'll be all right going into the postseason. Well, Falcons are my number 7 spot.
Fair enough. At my number 7 spot, I had the Vikings.
Mm.
And honestly, I thought we were gonna go 1 through 10. I'll lie to you. 1. So most of my notes on this is at the number 6 spot. So can I just share my number 6 spot too?
Sure.
All right. At the number 6 spot, I have the Packers.
Okay.
So it's really interchangeable whether or not that if the Vikings win it or the Packers win the NFC. I'm leaning towards the Packers. I think Jordan Love is a better quarterback out of Jordan Love and Sam.
That's fair.
So I have Vikings at 7, Packers at 6. But the Vikings probably have better long-term prospects as
That's
of
fair.
right now.
Yeah, that's understandable. Well, let me give my 6
Okay.
real quick, and then Saiquan can give his.
All right, go ahead.
Go ahead. Give your 7.
My 7 is the Steelers, just deeper. And then my 6 is I give it to the because of their offense.
Commanders for 10.
Commanders on there twice?
No. The 10th is the Chiefs. You know what? They're my 32nd.
Jesus
I respect
Christ.
it. I respect it.
Frick you, Patty Mahomes, Kermit the Frog, down so.
Put some respect on your super.
No.
Well, my number 6 is the Steelers, actually, coincidentally enough. Coming into this week, they were number 3 in turnovers, and we're also high up there in defense. They've allowed only 14.9 points per game. Love watching T.J. Watt and that defense play. They're always a threat. I'm impressed by their ability to get to 6-2 despite less than ideal quarterback situation, and I think that's a testament to Mike Tomlin and his coaching ability. As much as I hate the Steelers, I'll give it to him for my number 6 spot. Saquon, give us your 7 and then follow up with your 6.
All right, so these teams are pretty much one and the same. So for the 7th, I have ATL, and then for 6th, I have Tampa Bay. Just due to the fact that both teams are, in my eyes, they have good weaponry around them. Quarterback style, you have Baker Mayfield for Tampa and Kirko for ATL. It seemed like for both of them, every 6 or 5 touchdowns, they throw at least 2 to 3 interceptions. If they're more consistent, I can see them entering like the top 5 slot. But injuries and just once again turnovers are holding them back a little bit.
Yeah, that's fair. I guess we're moving on to number 5. My number 5 is the Washington Commanders. I think arguably the biggest surprise this season is what Jaden Daniels has done over there with them. They're leading the NFC at 7-2. Much improved defense and the number 3 offense in the NFL. Number 3 offense in the NFL. The Commanders team is a very real contender at the midway point of the season. I saw some earlier about this is the first time that they've been 7-2 since the 90s, I think, which is pretty huge. So they're working wonders over there, and I'm loving watching them play.
Yeah, my number 5 team, believe it or not, is the Commanders.
Really?
Jaden Daniels should be the front runner for offensive.
Oh yeah.
Year.
Oh,
Absolutely.
definitely.
And definitely halfway through the season, this Commanders team looks legit. 6-2 record, as you mentioned, and they have been playing unreal, competitive with the Ravens. competitive with every team they've played. I can't think of a single reason why Commanders should be any lower than number 5 on any.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm a 5. It's gonna be.
You're cut off.
Oh, I cut off.
No, you're done.
No,
Oh,
you're
Why,
done.
in your top 5, you're done. Jesus.
Be quiet. Let me get mine.
Oh, Lord have mercy. I'm going to get my 5. At about 30 seconds ago is now the Washington Commanders.
Put him at number 5.
Oh, wait, I thought there was...
This man made the worst top 10 list.
I'm not even gonna lie. I thought there was 6 and 2. I actually did.
Too late. Can't take it back.
No, I take it back. I take it back. Take it back.
Jesus, this man made the worst list of all mankind. I
Come on, you
swear.
got some competition.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, I know. He's going to replace him soon.
God damn it, dude.
Yeah. But I got the Commanders at 5.
Nice.
Sick. We're all at the same
Yeah.
place. I feel like our top 4 is going to be...
Yeah.
Maybe.
Probably.
Maybe.
My number 4.
Unless I change it again.
My number 4 is the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen has had his struggles this year. They haven't looked quite the same. They still found a way to get to 7-2, fighting through a lot of adversity over there, like Andrew talked about earlier, forcing Josh Allen to pass a lot. They have basically no run game. I think the fact that they're 7-2 through all that is a testament to their grit and just what they're capable of as a unit. So the Bills are my number 4 spot.
Not to mention that
That's
Josh
awesome.
Allen, just a good quarterback, because he's my number 4 spot as well.
Nice.
And honestly, could have put him higher, would have put him higher, but struggled against the Ravens. Has a bad defense. And he struggled against the Texans. He did 30% of his passes against. Those were his 2 losses. 2 terrible losses. Bills might have a better record than the Ravens, but I think the Ravens are a better team.
That's fair.
Well, time to get canceled. Put the Ravens at number 4.
Saquon, this is why I called you a deadbeat, man.
I understand.
I ain't trying to hear Miami at number 5.
Yeah, I understand Saquon because I was fighting between the Ravens at 4. Very hard with how bad the Ravens beat.
That is literally the only problem. If we had last year's defense with this year's offense, we would be a number 1, number 2 team, babe. Come on now. We would be undefeated, to be honest.
I think giving it to the Ravens would be better. I mean, giving it to the Bills would be better since the Ravens won that. You know what I mean?
Also true.
But I respect it.
Yeah, not a bad pick, honestly. Well, speaking of the Ravens at 3, I've got the Ravens at 3.
Well, speaking of the Ravens at 3, I got the Ravens at 3 as well.
And speaking of the Ravens at 3, I got 3 as well.
Well, their record
Speaking
is
of the Chiefs at 3, I have the Chiefs at 3.
God dang it!
I hate you.
Dude, what did I?
Somebody
All right.
kill me.
Say your take.
But yeah, I was going to say the record's only 6-3. Number 1 offense in the NFL, though. Deadliest quarterback running back duo in the NFL with Lamar and Derek. Derrick Henry currently leads the league in all 4 categories: yards, average yards per rush, touchdowns, and carries. This is the first time. 1963 by Jim Brown. He's on track for 2,000 yards this season, and coming into this week, Lamar was first in the league in passer rating, quarterback rushing yards, and interceptions, meaning he had the least amount of interceptions thrown amongst quarterbacks. Today, he posted, like Andrew mentioned earlier, 4th perfect passer rating, which ties Ben Roethlisberger's record. Also had the number 1 rushing defense in the NFL. Terrible passing defense, but number 1 rushing defense. And it's hard to bet against them, regardless of their records. I got the Ravens at number 3.
Yeah, I pretty much highlighted the same thing. Just adversary that the Ravens defense is giving up way too much receiving yards, but they are still number 1 in rushing yards. I don't know if that still holds, but when I was making this,
It still holds true.
okay.
It should.
And they held the Broncos to 10 points, all in the first half. Didn't let us second half score. A lot of 4th down stops. The Broncos offense has been doing really good lately. So I guess it's just it's wild that we underperformed. Like we look past the weaker NFL team. You know what I mean?
Yeah, very true. Saiquan, why did you put the Chiefs number 3?
Yeah.
Okay, don't attack me like that. Um, well, I think where the Ravens, slip up at when it comes to defense, we kind of got exposed for that when we faced the Chiefs in the first week. The Chiefs defense has been, some would say, many would say, most would say, has been carrying Patrick Mahomes most of the season. I believe this is Pat's worst season I've ever seen him perform in. I believe he's 6 for 8 this year when it comes to touchdown and interception ratio.
Could you repeat
Question mark,
something
question
for
mark?
me?
Something to you.
Thank you. Carry on. No,
Yeah.
I'm kidding. Did you say that the Ravens defense cost the Ravens that game?
No, I said the Chiefs defense was pretty much like stopped the Ravens offense on the first week, amongst other things. But yeah, I just think that, and you have to admit the fact that they're undefeated primarily because of the defense is impressive. And once again, like we said earlier in the podcast, the fact that they've been riddled with so much injuries and the organization has been able to maneuver and move things around for it to work in their favor. I got to give them some props. I wouldn't put them at number 1, but that's where they're number 3.
I don't know where this whole misconception. Their offense is bad. They're ranked 10th. Based on
Are they?
stats, yeah. Ranked 10th in yardage.
I mean, I don't think they're bad, but they're definitely not what they were.
Yeah.
No.
But
I mean,
they're
the
not,
fact that Travis Kelce has first touchdown last week says a lot.
for Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
But no, I don't know. They're undefeated. They're the only undefeated. No. And now they added DeAndre Hopkins.
That's true.
Yeah, and we'll see how that goes when it comes to Monday night tomorrow against the Bucks.
They're in they have unlimited power. The Chiefs.
Yeah, what he said.
I mean, they got one wide receiver that has catching problems, but Andre.
Oh no, they got rid of him.
Oh, they did. Oh, they did. No,
Yeah.
okay.
British got him.
Yeah. No, thank you. Moving on to number 2. This is another team.
Number 2.
We've been talking about a lot. This is the Lions. They're finding ways to stack up those wins. Jared Goff hasn't thrown a single interception. I don't think he threw one today. I wrote this halfway through. If that is true, he hasn't thrown one in the last 5 weeks. And him and his offense look pretty solid with the top 6 offense in the NFL and the number 1 special teams unit in the NFL, which is pretty interesting. They remain locked in, proven to be a very dangerous unit. They looked good today, and I have them at number 2.
Yeah, today was a really big game for them. They proved they didn't need Jared Goff. Jared Goff helped.
Yeah.
Jared Goff is what. That's why I do have the Lions at 12.
Beautiful.
So do I. Detroit Lions with numbers too.
They didn't need it, but
And I did not just change that.
Yeah. And moving on to the unanimous number 1.
Number 1.
Who could it be? I'm actually curious who Saiquan has at number 1.
Oh, Saiquan.
Yeah, go first.
They're
Who's your number 1?
actually playing right now. It's not the Colts.
You got the Vikings.
You got the
at number 1.
Vikings?
Yeah, no. It's just the fact that
cut the show.
You know what?
Jeez. I don't want to hear that, Mr. Offensive MVP Player of the Year, wherever the heck you said CJ is going to be.
I was injured. I mean,
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm Defensive Player of the Year. Defensive Player of 2023 and 2024. So,
all right,
shut your pile.
Viking.
Yeah. I had the Vikings at number 1. Just, I haven't seen such a smooth transition in a while. So for Kirk to move out, go to ATL, and then Sam Darnold to go from the Jets to Carolina to San Fran to the Vikings, and he's popping off at this level.
Game losing.
I mean, but they're 5-2,
Yeah, and they lost to the Rams and the Lions.
and we lost to the Raiders and the Chiefs.
Okay, and that's why I have
So-
the Ravens at number 3,
I mean,
Yeah,
and the
Like,
Chiefs at number 1.
Yeah.
and we choked again.
Yeah,
Still, I'm
But
still
yeah,
got PTSD.
they're coming
Just-
off of a 2-game losing streak. Currently losing in this game.
very true.
That isn't.
Yeah.
I got the Chiefs, who are undefeated.
I also have the Chiefs, who are undefeated.
I
Okay.
mean, respect.
Yeah.
Like, even if I hate, I guess.
I just believe that if the Vikings like Atlanta, like Tampa Bay, if they're consistent scoring, of course, you have to score to win the game. I just haven't seen this much of a factor shift when it comes to the Vikings at this level. I can see them going to the playoffs. They haven't been riddled with injuries. Like you said, they are on the losing streak, but they can definitely come back from it, especially with their coaching core and who they have with JJ and their running back.
They're also in the most competitive. Oh,
Absolutely.
they have the
So-
Lions in there, who have at number 2.
Yeah.
They
Yep.
have the Packers in there.
Yep.
So you got the Lions at number 2.
Yep.
And if the Vikings win out the rest of the season and become playoff contenders, they can't be at number 2. That's not how power rankings. Detroit can't be at number 2 because Detroit would be a wild card team. You understand what I'm saying?
Oh, I kind of get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Well, not today.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. I wholeheartedly disagree with you.
Fair enough.
I think Chiefs being undefeated, the Lions being on a 2-game losing streak, which the Ravens haven't been on a losing streak this year.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Also true.
The Bills have been on. That's why I
Yeah.
rank them below the Ravens.
You know, Saiquan, I gotta say, I respect your originality. You're a bold man, and I respect that about you.
I didn't necessarily look
What did
at,
you have, Vikings?
Where did I
number
have
1.
Vikings?
Yeah.
I didn't have him in my top 10 at all.
I had him at 7. Plus, I just don't
Sheesh.
trust in Sam Darnold. I mean, the games they've won and lost this season have been kind of mid. They beat the Giants, the 49ers, and we know the 49ers are struggling.
Yeah.
They beat the Texans. That's a fair one, right?
Mm.
They beat the Packers. But then it went a win over the Jets, struggling Jets. Lost to the Lions, lost to the Rams, and the Rams are bottom feeders. And they're losing to the Colts right now.
I wouldn't say the Rams are there. I think the Rams are 50-50 right now. Are they
No,
not?
they're 3-5,
And
I
they-
think.
Sheesh. Okay, never mind. Yeah, they just won today. Oh, yikes.
No, they just 4-4.
Oh, they just.
Yep.
I'm done.
Yep.
Never mind.
But regardless, the
50-50.
Rams, they haven't played good teams either. They barely beat out the Seahawks.
Yeah.
Well, there were some hot takes in there.
Yeah, there were some takes, like Miami in the top 10.
Yeah.
It's great. I really like the Commanders being on there twice. That was really cool.
I honestly thought the Dolphins was. I got it.
Tua got injured.
Tua got injured.
And then he lost again today.
Yep.
Well, now we're moving on to everyone's favorite.
The bottom 5 power rankings, the 5
Whoa.
worst teams. In the NFL.
Yes, I can pick up the
I
worst
have
teams.
Never been so excited. Something.
Same.
Yes.
I'd
Yes.
already mentioned number 6 real quick. The Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah.
And I gotta-
I wanted to put them lower on this list, but their offense is really carrying them.
And
Sheesh.
guys, let's be silent for the dying piece. Tua Tagovailoa during the game.
Well, that's because he was dying.
He's going to die soon. All the concussions he's getting.
Well,
it's about to
let's
be
not
him.
say that. We don't support that. Damn. The Colts have 3 sacks on the already.
Yeah.
Going off.
Against a number 1 team, man, maybe the Colts are top 10.
Wow, 7-0
Yeah.
with a minute left in the half. That's great.
It might.
Anyway, take it away, Mike.
Well, my number 5 spot, tough because it was a toss-up between the Raiders and this team. I picked the Giants,
Ooh.
and I picked them for one reason, and that's Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
Fun
Danny
little,
Dimes.
fun little fact for you guys. He's played in 9 games. 5 of those 9 games, he has had 0 touchdowns. In all but one of those 5 games, he's had at least 1 interception. Quarterback situation over there is absolutely abysmal, and I think it's so abysmal that it's going to continue to hold the team back. And they've fallen to 2-7. They're my number 5 spot.
You know what? I have the Jaguars.
That's a pretty good one too.
But the Giants, that's actually weighing on me the more that I think about it. They signed Daniel Jones to a long term. They threw money because he made the playoff. Did he deserve that? No, absolutely.
Nope.
I think everyone would agree. But I do have the Jaguars at number 5. I think it's telling that they were playoff contending team. They were supposed to be in playoff contention for the AFC. And they're in contention for the top pick of the draft. Yeah. They suck. They're a terrible team, terrible organization. I don't know what Trevor Lawrence is because for the past couple of years, the media has been like, he's good. He just needs more weapons, more this, more that, more time.
Yeah.
He got paid. And he still sucks.
Right.
Who's game? My 5 is I'm definitely going Giants. Same reason. Honestly.
Oh! The Vikings just doinked it.
Hey, doink it!
That's my number one. That's my number 1 team right there. Prove me wrong as always. I hated
You
it.
try to warn
Anyway.
ya.
My number 5 is the Carolina Panthers.
Oh, I was about to say.
Yeah, just due to the fact that the Panthers kind of pulled a, what was it, 2017, 2018 New York Giants, where they thought, maybe if we sub in this quarterback, things will get better. And it just got worse. It was just so foretelling how the Carolina Panthers thought, okay, maybe we switch out Bryce with another quarterback, things will happen. Of course, the first game they actually won a game with the new quarterback under the regime, and then what happened? Losing streak. Then everyone's like, oh, okay, maybe the quarterback's not the issue. Yeah, we've been trying to tell you that for a very long time now. You get so many quarterbacks. You had Baker Mayfield, like I said. You had Sam Darnold on your regime. Yeah, all these guys under the Carolina Panthers that tried to help the organization. And there's no coincidence that they all, even I think Teddy Bridgewater at one point, all these guys struggled, and you didn't see a pattern. So that's why I have
about Cam Newton's second stint with the Panthers.
Yep, I'm back. Yeah, I forgot about
I'm
that.
back, baby.
Yeah.
It was never bad.
He won that one game, and then it just went downhill for the rest of the season when he started. But I have him at number 5.
You should stick.
Number 4. I have the Tennessee Titans at number 4. Another failed quarterback situation. They have given up on Will Levis in favor of Mason Rudolph. Testament of just how bad this offense is. The fact that they actually statistically have the number 1 defense in the NFL, and somehow they're still 2-6. So I have the Titans at number 4.
Yeah.
They won today, funny enough.
I changed my mind because I had Raiders at 4. I think I'm going to put Giants there at 4.
I was about to say.
Put Giants at 4?
Yeah, I'm going to put Giants at 4.
I'm gonna put.
Just Daniel Jones is so bad.
He's awful.
Yeah.
He's so awful.
I just like Daniel Jones' best play, his most memorable play, years down the road. Think of Daniel Jones. You're going to be thinking of that time that he's sprinting down the field, wide open,
Yeah.
nobody around for miles, and he trips and
Turf
falls.
Monster.
Pretty much.
Turf Monster got him. He gets us all.
It is the equivalent to Jay Cutler's butt fumble. Except he didn't
Literally.
fumble the ball. But you're going to be asked to describe Daniel Jones' career, and they're just going to that clip.
That right there. Yeah, I got Giants at number 4 as well. Y'all brought it up previously. Just the fact that even for them to double it down during the previous Hard Knocks, I think it was the summer Hard Knocks or it was last year's Hard Knocks when they were reviewing New York Giants. Just the fact that they doubled down on the whole Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley situation. Like, are we going to pretend that this man didn't single handedly carry the team to the playoffs? Like, so, and the fact that they paid
During
this
the
man
era
an astronomical amount of money.
Saquon Barkley, by the way. Saquon Barkley was carrying the Giants.
Yeah.
And they paid Daniel Jones.
Wild.
Yep.
And now Saquon
And then
Barkley carrying the.
And then they proceeded to say, would you pay a 30-year-old money? They made it sound like this guy was Todd Gurley or Ezekiel Elliott. This man was, when he's healthy, of course, like that was the one thing that was wrong with Saquon Barkley. Like he was injured here and there. But when he was healthy, he was in his peak.
Yeah,
and when they went to the playoff, that was the peakest of peaks. Yeah. He's
27.
28, 28. They were treating him the way that they were saying it, though, the way I perceived it, they were treating him as if he was old and digressing, which he wasn't. I should say.
Because he had one of the highest workloads when he played in games.
Literally.
Because Daniel Jones couldn't perform. And as we're talking, I just saw the highlight of Saquon hurling back.
Yeah, that was nuts. I've never
The backwards hurdle.
Yeah.
And you know what's insane?
Saquon has his high workload, and you expect him to not get injured?
Exactly. And Daniel Jones just scored his first touchdown in MetLife in over a year and a half. That's insane.
Good for Danny, dog.
That's embarrassing. Like, what does that say about the organization? And it's funny because I'm pretty sure Michael saw it previously. The Hard Knocks. One of the sons was speaking to the coach, and the coach was asking son, "Who do you think I should draft in this upcoming year?"
Yeah,
do you remember that, Mike?
Yeah.
What did the kid say?
What did he say? I don't. What did he say?
He said we should trade, the future rookie of the year in the Commanders quarterback. He said, you want to win? You should draft him.
Yeah.
I don't feel sorry for New York Giants. That's why I haven't been them before, because they're a terrible organization.
Yeah. You know
and every person that touches that field just gets hurt and crippled.
I also don't feel sorry for my number 3 spot, the Cleveland Browns. They seem to be back to being the Browns as they've fallen to 2-7. Their defense is average at best. It was pretty good last year. Thought it'd be good. It has not been. Their offense is second worst in the NFL, only behind the Patriots. They're in a similar situation in New England with their quarterback room, less than ideal. Awful recent luck with Deshaun Watson, and I think that pretty much drenched their hopes for a run this season. I have Browns at number 3.
Yeah, number 3. I have the Patriots. They moved off of Bill Belichick because they said Bill Belichick was a problem. They moved off of Mac Jones because Mac Jones was a problem in New England. Not the fact that they don't have a good offensive line. Not the fact that they don't have good running backs or good wide receivers. Mac Jones is a problem, which he was.
Yeah.
Bill Belichick was a problem, which obviously he wasn't. Bill Belichick had Mac Jones in the playoffs 3 years ago. Do you think any other head coach in the league could have had Mac Jones in the playoffs? Because I don't.
Right.
So I think that the Patriots are going downhill fast. Their current head coach, I think Jared Mayo, is not it. They can't even keep Drake May healthy, who got injured last week with a concussion.
Yeah.
I'm nervous for the future.
All right.
They were first on now they're back to the chart actually. And they're the
I mean, they're still 4-5.
But still, they were first 5. They were first 5-0 back.
They're not even close to the worst teams in the league.
Yeah, I will say.
That's just my opinion.
Fair enough. For my number 3.
That's just my opinion. I'm just saying. That's my opinion.
I have the previously known Oakland Raiders.
Nice.
I think
Shot.
the Raiders organization needs its own documentary series. And if it was called a documentary series, it would be called The Gruden Grinders.
They have one. It's called Wide Receiver.
Oh, boy.
Available on Netflix. Ow.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Not much to say. I think you're absolutely right. The Raiders are a bad organization. Have been for a while now.
Yeah.
I want to say they took a step in the right direction this year. They didn't. I want to say they've been playing good football. They haven't.
Nope.
I want to say Gardner Minshew's going to break out and lead the Raiders to the playoffs, but that's impossible.
Yep.
I want to say a lot of things, but the Raiders just aren't it. And they beat the Ravens this year.
Yep.
That weighs heavily on my shoulders.
Talk about that.
We don't talk about that.
We don't talk about that.
It's just remarkable how it's just remarkable how the Raiders always have like a good player, and their first instinct's like, how can we get rid of this guy? And it's every single year. You know, like have you ever noticed there's a pattern that almost every single year they just get rid of more and more players? It's like, wow,
Yeah,
that's how can we make this organization more trash than it already is? It's already bad enough that you live in Las Vegas. Let's see if we can like. It's just fascinating. Yeah, you know, from Green Grider to AB to Henry Ruggs to Khalil Mack
the list
to
goes on and on.
yeah, you know, it's fascinating.
That is fair. But my number 2 spot is actually Patriots. Started with a less than impressive quarterback room and a lot of uncertainty. Since then, they benched their original starter in Jacoby Brissett and named Drake May the starter, but the struggle has continued. Still haven't found any real hope for the team this season. Their offense is dead last in the NFL, and their defense isn't far off. They're just a really bad team. So the Patriots are my number 2 spot.
Yeah, I have the Tennessee Titans at number 2, who hasn't had a good quarterback, as you covered already, since veteran Caleb Williams.
Yeah, right.
Since Ryan
That's
Tannehill. And now they don't have D-Hop anymore. They don't have Derrick Henry anymore. They just continue to break this organization down more and more, exposing how bad they are.
I agree. I have the Pats at number 2 as well.
Nice.
It's just another team that just fallen from grace. It's incredible. Drake May, since he started, has progressively gotten good. Andrea stated it early on in the podcast that he had a great showing today. The thing that resulted in what it did was a late, like overtime interception that led into, I think, a field goal. But for them to have sat down Jacoby Brissett and then put this rookie at the helm is crazy. And then I believe they have a defensive coordinator who somewhat, I think this is his first year as the head coach or whenever he might be. It seemed like he's trying to figure out what he's doing, but he's not quite there yet. This organization has been in a reboot way before even Bill left. I think it was a reboot the moment that Tom left, quite frankly.
My second is Memphis Elvis Presley Titans. They're really down bad. First they had King Henry, and then they had D-Hop. They lost both like great players. But
Fair enough.
Frick you, Tennessee! Hey, screw you, Elvis.
My number 1 is the Carolina Panthers. They look like the exact same team that they were last year when they finished dead last.
Forever.
They're in position to repeat as the worst team in the NFL, and their uncertainty at what they want at quarterback and why they want it remains a prime example of their lack of leadership amongst all sorts of other problems. I have them at number 1, worst team in the NFL.
My number 1 surprise you. This team hasn't been talked about. Carolina Panthers.
No way.
No way, bro.
From the top down, I've never seen a worse organization.
They're awful. They're
terrible
awful.
ownership, terrible coaching, terrible players, terrible quarterbacks, terrible everything.
They need T'Challa.
They couldn't put Mahomes on this team and win a game.
Very true.
Despite the fact that they won. I think they beat the
Probably. I didn't catch it.
everyone. I love that everyone was high on Derek Carr.
Yep. So that's fair.
Such a bad organization. Starting back to when they got rid of,
Yep. It was all downhill after that.
and then it was quarterback after quarterback. As Saiquan mentioned earlier when he talked about Sam Darnold, it was Joe Flacco. It was Joe Flacco. I don't think he.
No.
No, it was Andy Dalton.
Andy Dalton,
Andy
Baker
Dalton,
Mayfield,
Baker Mayfield.
Teddy Bridgewater,
Yep.
Cam Newton. Yeah, the list goes on and
It
on.
was terrible.
The Panthers quarterback room has been ran through.
Yeah.
They have been ran through.
It's like,
Yeah.
nope. Skip.
I don't respect their ownership. I mean, an owner going to a game to dump drinks on fans.
Oh,
Ticket prices plummeting, like $3 to $5 for a ticket in the nosebleed. That's insane.
Yeah.
I don't know how you can wake up in the morning happy or Carolina Panthers.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Firmly
I don't
agree.
think many people do, if any do at all.
all right.
Yeah.
My number one is Cleveland Brown, because I am proud to say that they
And copyright strike.
copyrighted, worth it.
No, it's not.
It's worth it. I'm just
It's
kidding.
not. It's not.
But yeah, Cleveland Brown. Just because the Ravens, we should never lost that game. Never lost. But the Browns, I just hate them. Honestly.
All right, fair
They're not
enough.
even in my top 5.
They're my number one
So,
of sucking.
so I definitely read this wrong. So it's completely backwards. So I'm going to redo this. So 29th, I have the Saints because, Saints. Like,
Okay.
let's be honest here.
They're injury riddled.
Yeah, and Derek Carr. Yeah. Number 30th, the Pats. 31, Raiders. 32. No, wait. Oh, my bad.
29, 28,
28 Saints,
30.
29 Pats, 30th Raiders, 31 Giants, and 32 the Panthers. So my Panthers are the worst team. Can you tell I have a low IQ sometimes?
You had Panthers
Yeah.
at number 5.
Yeah.
Which is why I was like,
Yeah, no,
holy crap,
yeah.
you got Panthers at number 5?
No. My Panthers is the worst team.
Okay.
My apologies. Yeah.
We had a
Yeah,
pretty
that
similar
just-
list, Saquon. Say yours one more time.
So number 5 Saints, 4 Pats, 3 Raiders, 2 Giants, number 1 Panthers.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty
Yeah.
similar.
Yeah. The same situation is hilarious because I remember me and Mike would laugh about the whole Derek Carr when he was at the NFL event. What's the postseason event? I'm sorry.
Pro Bowl.
Yeah, he was at the Pro Bowl. He said, "Yeah, I guess I didn't do good enough," and we get a chuckle out of that because I like Carr the person, but he's so inconsistent, and for him to be upset that the Raiders traded him. Like for one is what's best for business. Like you're not doing your job
Raiders
as
didn't
efficiently
trade him.
as you should. Did they release him?
They
Trade him?
released him. Just outright cut him.
They released him. Okay, wow, that's crazy.
not best for business.
Yeah, wow, yeah,
All right,
that's
well,
all right. So
that's-
that's insane that they cut him. I thought they traded him, which is even worse. But it's just the Saints are just faltering. They did great, similar to kind of sort of what Lil Devon said. Like early on in the season, they were an undefeated team, I believe, that looked like they were going to be great, and then just slowly just fell downhill. Like the Seahawks, we were like, oh man, Geno Stone's about to have another good season. Slowly
Geno
just
Smith.
fell off. Saints fell off. Did I say Geno Stone? Geno Smith. Just slowly just. My apologies, Geno Smith. They all just slowly just fall off into like the depths. So I got Saints at number 5, but it's not their season. It's just not their season.
Hasn't been for a while.
Hasn't been for a while. Hasn't been the same since that whole Ram situation with Drew Brees.
It's Drew Brees.
Quite frankly. Yeah.
All right. Thursday night.
Thursday night.
Thursday night.
Thursday night football is coming up. It's a big one for us Ravens fans, as the Ravens are going to be going against the Bengals at the bank. So, how do we feel about this heading into this game? Do the Ravens have decent enough chance to beat the Bengals, or Joe Burrow and the Bengals going to come in and smash the Ravens?
This is the second time we've played them this year, right? Didn't we win the first
Yeah,
time?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't see any reason we can't win again. Depends on which version of our team shows up.
Our defense.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase have combined for a lot of yards. That's when we had a good secondary.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I have us winning that one. I have the Ravens taking that one. I think it could be pretty close. I think it might end up being a one-score game. Ravens have had a number of those this year. I don't think the Bengals are as good as they once were, but we've seen how the Ravens tend to perform against the worst team. So I think it'll still be a close one, but I got the Ravens.
Saiquan.
All right, so I have the Raiders win as well. Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow, they're both coming off of a 5-touchdown game. Lamar's coming off of a 3-touchdown game. So as long as our defensive secondary stays healthy and doesn't perform as they usually do with bad teams, as Mike said, I think we could win. I think it'll be a pretty close game, maybe 10-ish points, but we'll carry out the win.
Throw one in there. I'll start.
Okay.
It's going to be, most likely, I'm throwing out the score prediction. It's going to be 34-37 rate.
I got 30-26.
I got 30, 35.
All right.
Pretty good.
34-24.
Hopefully,
10-point win. I like it.
I really hope we can close it off with a kickoff or a 2-point conversion.
All right. Well,
I love
that.
the one team is doing terrible.
They are. That's okay. So is the other one. It's only a one-score game. But
Fair enough.
yeah, that's gonna wrap up our NFL portion of the podcast. We're gonna go film the wrestling stuff, which will be separately now, just in case you didn't know.
Excited.
The wrestling stuff has been separated from the main episodes, so we post those main episodes go up on Wednesdays, and the wrestling ones we try to have up on Fridays. Available on Spotify, YouTube, and Instagram. All that'll be in the description. Make sure to follow us, leave comments, all that good stuff, and come talk about some wrestling with us. We'll
Okay,
see you
check
over
out my
there.
TikTok very quick.
It's been real. Until next time.
See ya!